All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Nick Marro here with Smitty and Occupy Fantasy, as always, helping you break down the NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Got a nice 7-gamer here tonight. Smitty coming off a huge night, absolutely crushed some of those bigger ticket contests over on FanDuel. But yeah, man, rolling into tonight, we got a lot of weird, gross plays to talk about. What are your initial takes coming into this one?
Yeah, you could just kind of tell it's going to be one of those slates. Like I told you, you pull up the top value in the model, and it's Jemai Meshack, which no one's playing, but you can just tell how this slate's going to be. A lot of unknown players that are going to be owned by the field, so it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, almost similar to last night. We had some pretty weird chalk, same size slate, but we'll talk through all these guys. And obviously, gang, if you have questions, feel free to get them in. A few comments here. Appreciate Ben getting in here early. We got Unicorn, Ray. Appreciate you all. HB Cards, the Prince, a bunch of our regular attendees here. Definitely appreciate you guys. We got D Rones, Drones. Derek, awesome day to play some DFS. Indeed, my friend. Just finishing watching the USA team advance to that gold medal game. That's going to be pretty fun Sunday morning. But enough hockey. Let's get into this NBA slate. 7 games to break down. Tons of value across the board. A bunch of teams on back-to-backs. A bunch of teams that are tanking. But let's start here with 2 teams that are not going to be tanking. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. Again, Charlotte's been playing pretty well lately. They are underdogs at home. 229.5 point total here. It is a back-to-back for Cleveland. Mobley did play yesterday. He's going to be out tonight. Max Strus going to be out here for Cleveland here as well. Obviously, they went out and got Harden at the deadline, traded away Darius Garland. We're seeing ownership going to Mitchell and Harden here. A little bit surprised Jarrett Allen isn't getting more love. I know the price is up, but he's had some huge games with Mobley out. He's very low owned, and the best defensive center on the Hornets, Diabate, is unavailable here. So really good spot for Allen. I like him as a tournament play. You could definitely mix in some Mitchell, Harden, even Tyson. I would rank them in that order, though. Again, Harden more of a point guard now that he's in the backcourt there with Mitchell. But yeah, I think Allen's a really good tournament play. But outside of kind of the obvious starters here, Smitty, I'm having trouble getting to the Cavs. Are there any players here you're really keying in on?
Yeah, I do like that Allen shout. Seems good. Not only is he their best defensive big man, but he's also their best rebounder. So could be a lot of offensive boards for Jared Allen. Should get some easy putbacks, and like always, playing with Harden is pretty good for big men. So pretty interested in those top 3: Harden, Mitchell, Allen. Just don't have a lot of spin ups on the slate, so I think you'll just kind of need the raw points. So I think all 3 of them are good, but the rest of the team is pretty tough to get to.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I would like Tyson more if we were expecting more minutes out of him, but bringing in guys like Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, even though they're guards, it's going to cut into his upside for the foreseeable future. So flipping over to Charlotte now, pretty interesting spot here. No Miles Bridges, no Diabate, who I already mentioned, still no Kobe White. Grant Williams turned out being really good shot last night. He's actually unavailable here tonight. So projected starting lineup, I'm seeing Ball, Knupel, Miller, Salulin, Kalkbrenner. If we're sorting the model by value, one of the top value plays that no one is playing is going to be Tijani Salulin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry to those that I might be offending. But yeah, man, I do like Charlotte here. I think they can be competitive. The minutes for Ball have been kind of all over the place, even with him starting. But I do really like Miller and Knupel. The model doesn't love them in terms of point per dollar, but I think the upside is certainly there. On DK, they feel underowned. They're getting a little bit more love over on FanDuel. But those 2 definitely stand out to me. And I mentioned Salulin. I don't mind him as like a last piece in. I don't think he's going to be able to do what Grant Williams did yesterday. But if you're looking for value, someone low owned, get a little bit different on a slate like this, I think he makes some sense. Not really interested in much else here, though, Smitty. How do you feel about the Hornets?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'd like it more if he does start, but even coming off the bench, I think Saloon's fine. Um, Other than that, it's mainly just the main 3 dudes: Miller, Kahn, Ball. I think are all fine to get to, but don't really see any of them as priorities. It is a 5 point spread, so they do expect it to be a pretty close game. Miller's probably my favorite. You also have to pay for him, so feel like he has the highest ceiling at least.
Yeah, no, totally agree, man. But yeah, it should be a competitive game. Again, Charlotte's been playing really well lately. Americ, shouts out being here, my man. Jose asking about Memphis. Is it important to play Grizzlies? We'll get there. I think it's tough to play none. but I do think the field's maybe a bit overexposed. How many Nets are we not playing? Shouts out to Drones here. Yeah, probably most of them. Allen's ownership's going to skyrocket with Harden also soon with Spida downgraded. Oh, wait, wrong Mitchell. Yeah, that's Davion Mitchell from the Heat, my man. Shouts out to Terrible Tron 171. But let's go ahead and get to the next game here. This one is interesting. We got two tanking teams. We got the Pacers taking on the Wizards in DC. And these teams did play last night. The Wizards are going to be slight favorites here at home. Guess it depends on your book. It's pretty much a coin flip. 228.5 point total. Starting with the road team, the Pacers here. And again, I have the 5:30 injury report up, so maybe we got some more news since then. I think we did. But Furphy and Halliburton are out. Quentin Jackson, questionable. I think we got word that TJ and Cam Jones are both in. Nembhard's out. Naismith's out. Siakam's out. Potter's in. Talon Peter, who I got wrong yesterday. Someone asked about him. Questionable. Ethan Thompson, questionable here. No Obi Toppin or Ivanka Zubac as well. So, again, you're dealing with Rick Carlisle first and foremost. Even when Indiana was playing well last year, the rotations were all over the place. Very tough team to project when it comes to minutes. But with so many guys out, they should only have 10 players available here, maybe even less, depending on some of these updates we're getting. But it's tough to trust them, right? Because we don't know if in the fourth quarter, if they're playing well, if they just get benched. Again, these are two teams that are tanking, trying to get to that top spot in the lottery. I don't know. I think Walker's pretty safe, though. He's been excellent. Even if he were to play fewer minutes than what we have him projected for at 32, he should absolutely do whatever he wants to here. Dominated in this matchup last night. Even fewer of their regular rotational pieces available. Obviously, no Nembhard could only boost what he's capable of. Other than that, it's tricky. I mean, the model does like Potter. I'm thinking he's going to come off the bench again. Jay Huff with his forward eligibility, kind of appealing on DK at reasonable ownership. Though we're going to kind of have to wait and see what the starting lineup looks like. I'm seeing Cam Jones and Kobe Brown in some projected starting lineups. Ben Shepherd was in my best lineup last night as a punt, but his price has come up a little bit. I don't mind getting there. We've seen Quentin Jackson have some big games off the bench, but again, it's tough to really lean into any one player here. One more I'll mention before I throw it over to you, Smitty, is TJ McConnell, obviously, with the starting point guards out. He could get a little bit of extra run. Even with guys out, though, it's tough to project him more than 16 to 18 minutes. Kind of a tricky spot here. I do trust Walker. I'll say that much. Are there any other Pacers, Smitty, that you feel good about?
Yeah, I think Walker is good. I think Jay Huff's a pretty decent GPP play where he has power forward eligibility on DraftKings. Still a good matchup against Washington. You could say the same for Potter. Don't mind either one of them. And then Kobe Brown's probably my next favorite. Don't mind him. I think the minutes are pretty safe for him, starting or off the bench. Just kind of a guy that they're comfortable playing because he's okay for fantasy, but he's not a real good life basketball player. So he's probably not going to win him a game or anything like that. So I do think he's fine. That's pretty much it. I think, like you said, we'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup brings out. I did actually play a little Shepherd yesterday. He did pretty well, but normally not someone I'm excited to play. But yeah, we'll kind of see how the starting lineup comes out.
Yeah, Shepard only 12% usage, but hit 3 of his 4 3-point attempts. That definitely helped get him there. But they have so many similar plays, man. Like I put all these guys in the same category. They have high ceilings, low floors. They're cheap enough to take some shots on, especially in a good matchup. But you can't really sit here and say, I feel so good about this guy or that guy. So sounds like we do like Walker. Definitely don't mind getting to a little bit of Jay Huff. Over on the Washington side of things, no Anthony Davis, obviously. Kaishan George is going to be out. Still no Alexandre Sarr, Trae Young, Cam Whitmore, D'Lo, a bunch of other guys who aren't available. Kind of interesting. No real ownership going to this team at all. And again, they are tanking. Vucevic coming off a good game, only played 17 minutes. Wondering if that's because of the back-to-back. He should be okay to probably play more than that here. Nobody playing him, though. Coming off a slate yesterday where he was very popular. Obviously, a bit different of a slate. But yeah, I think he's fine in tournaments. The model does rate him as the best DK value play. And you can play 2 centers over on DraftKings. Other than that, it's tricky. I've been a fan of Trey Johnson all year. I'm going to continue to play him a little bit, but the minutes have gone down again as this team tanks. It's like the better he plays, the less he's going to play, which is super annoying, obviously, when it comes to DFS. I don't know, man. Like Watkins has had some good games. I mean, you can make a case for guys like Will Riley, or Sharif Cooper. I don't know. I want to get some Vucevic, I think, even with the limited minutes. Other than that, I can't say I feel great about anything, Smitty. Which Wizards are you getting to?
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same. They're a tough team to get to. They just have a lot of bodies, and they're not really playing anybody big minutes. If I was playing anybody, it'd probably be Vukovic, just because he does have a ceiling. If he gets into the even low 20s, would feel pretty decent. Other than that, though, like you said, it's like Watkins, Sharif Cooper, Will Riley. I think all of them are in play. Carrington, if he starts on FanDuel at under 5K, don't mind him. He is one of the few ones that did come back in for the fourth quarter, played a little bit. So I think Carrington's okay, but overall, it's just a team I'm not really getting to.
Yeah. One guy I want to highlight a little bit more is Sharif Cooper. He's been playing really well off the bench. We only have him for 22 minutes. He played 24 last night, had a 26% usage rate. Of all these bench guys, he's had the most consistent usage. So I don't mind getting to him a little bit. But again, it's tough to really sit here and say we feel great about any of these guys, knowing they're trying to tank. It's like the better they play, the more likely they are to get benched. Definitely some backwards, logic there. But yeah, hopefully they fix these lottery rules soon. Moving into another team that's going to be tanking here, we got the Utah Jazz taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. 237.5 point total. Grizzlies are slight favorites here at home. Starting with Utah. Again, tanking. No Keontae George, no Jaren Jackson, no Walker Kessler, no Lauri Markkinen, no Yusuf Nurkic, and Oscar Tshiebwe is returning from concussion protocol. I don't know that I have a ton of interest in him, but the one guy who's been really good for them with all these others out has been Isaiah Collier. Since they went and traded for Vince Williams, though, his minutes have come down a bit. I think he's a little bit overpriced. I think you could get there in tournaments, but not really going to call him a priority over 8K on both sites. I like Filipowski. Whenever he's going to get the start at center, I think we're going to see that again from him here, especially against Memphis, who's going to have to run pretty small here tonight as well. The price is up on him, but he does have forward eligibility on both sites. I really like him. I think he's reasonably owned. Wouldn't mind getting to even more than the 20% on both sites. And then Sensabaugh, as long as he starts, probably has a ton of usage here. It's just a question of if he's playing really well, do they bench him? Always kind of an issue with these tanking teams. But I like Filipowski. Pretty confident saying that. Other than that, man, it's just dicey, right? Are there any Jazz players you're really honing in on?
No, I pretty much feel the same. I think Filipowski's a really good tournament play. Pretty interested in being overweight there. Sensabaugh to me feels fine. He's probably a little overowned, but I do like the play. And then, like you mentioned, Collier. I just
Oh, yeah.
I don't I don't have as much interest with Vince Williams there now. But Vince Williams, I do have a little bit of interest in. Only 2% and 1%. He was on pace to crush the other day. I had a bunch of him, and then he got hurt. So don't mind mixing in Vince Williams either, but Collier's fine as well.
Yep, I'm with you. I will say this: there is a world where they just start Kevin Love at center for the hell of it. I don't think it's a world we'll be living in, but it's just something to keep an eye on. He's near minimum price on both sites. Shouts out Big Ed here saying, "What's up?" Jose asking about Anthony Gill. I'll throw this one to you, Smitty. Any interest there, knowing that maybe Vooch is playing limited minutes?
Not really, no.
Yeah, he did play 30 last night. Again, they're trying to lose. I think that's why he's out there so much. I'm kind of hoping those go to Vuk here, but it's not crazy. I mean, he's going to be in the rotation. He's still very cheap, just not a super talented player. But again, minutes matter more than anything when it comes to DFS. Speaking of Wizards minutes, Card's asking about Riley. Only played 4 last night. Does that mean he's going to get 20 here? I don't know that there's any rhyme or reason to the way they've been doing these rotations. But any take on that? Again, Riley only played 3 minutes. Had a 36% usage when he was on the floor. Do they give him more run here tonight? I tend to think they do, but again, I don't think we can say that with any sort of confidence.
Yeah, it's hard. I have no idea. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, if you wanted to take a shot, I think you could.
No, I'm with you. He's saying, "What's up?" Cards asking, "Will the Utah give the former Grizz guys more minutes?" So, I mean, there is some narrative here. I guess you call it a revenge spot. Obviously, Jaren Jackson took a lot of guys from Utah, moved them to Memphis, and vice versa. But I don't know. Again, I think their priority is tanking more than it is getting these guys to have big games in front of their home crowd. But that would be Vince Williams, John Conchar. I would rather play Vince. It sounds like you were already on there a little bit, Smitty. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't look too deep into that. Again, their priority is to tank right now over anything. Um, and yeah, Rocket asking about Benny Matt, or he brought him up yesterday. I was like, dude, he's not on the slate. I didn't really look at him. He absolutely went off. And shame on Rick Carlisle for not getting him more minutes when he was with the Pacers. Anyway, enough about Utah. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Let's get over to Memphis now. No Santi Aldama, no KCP, no Brandon Clark, no Cedric Howard, no Zach Edey, Ty Jerome, John Morant, or Scottie Pippen. This team has so many guards that are out tonight. Going to be very, very thin in the front court. So we're seeing, I don't know, Jemai Mashak. You want to pronounce this one, Smitty?
Yeah, Jemai Mashak. I don't really know.
Mashak. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping we see Javon Small start. He was the chalk for most of the day, but it sounds like he may come off the bench behind Spencer. I don't mind Small as a punt, but I will say I feel better about him if he's starting. Spencer's the guy. Like, I think he's really talented. I think he can run this offense, but they're limiting his minutes. It's rare we see him getting over 24 to 26, so I have some issue getting there. I think the front court feels a little bit safer. I like Greg Jackson, Kyle Anderson if he starts. Even coming off the bench, I think point per dollar, he's been really solid. Actually projected to start at the 5 here tonight over Olivier Maxime Prosper. But whoever is starting at center, I like. Whoever is starting at the 4, probably Greg Jackson, I like. But the guard situations kind of has me stumped. Like, I wanted to play Javon Small, but if he's going to come off the bench, I would urge those watching to proceed with some caution. Smitty, how do you feel about the Grizzlies here?
Yeah, should be pretty good. Only 9 guys, so it's interesting. Meshack, I do want to consider him since he's at the top of the value in terms of the model. And he's a pretty productive guy, so don't mind getting him. GG Jackson, feel pretty good there. And like you mentioned, Javon Small, I think he's fine at his price. We just don't have a lot of other super cheap value, but I think he's okay. Cam Spencer, I'm getting to as well. I think Spencer's pretty good. Omax, I'm still getting there. Think he's okay. And then Jalen Wells is another one that just plays good minutes no matter the situation, really. So I think he's a pretty good GPP play. Pretty much you could play all these dudes with Hendricks, and I wouldn't play Lovering, but Hendricks I think is a pretty good play as well at his ownership. I don't mind getting a few percent. I don't know. I think this whole team is pretty solid. Like if you said you were playing anybody, I wouldn't really fault you at all.
Yeah, again, I think the guards all look good here on paper because they're cheap. It's just the minutes are probably going to be flat. The bigs, though, I'm with you. I don't really want to play Lovering. I think even if Prosper comes off the bench, he's so cheap with forward eligibility. I like him a lot on both sites. Would love to see Slow-Mo start at center, though. I mean, he's going to be super productive there. But again, I don't know that I trust his minutes. If there's anyone who gets their minutes cuts, it's probably him as like the one real vet on this team. But yeah, good game to target. Just be careful how you do it. But again, keep an eye on the starting lineups. They're definitely going to matter in terms of where we end up projecting those minutes. We are through the 7 o'clock games now, moving into the 7:30 window. We got the Mavericks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dallas, heavy underdogs on the road here, 239.5 point total against Minnesota, with Minnesota, I believe, on a back-to-back. But starting with Dallas, no Max Christie, no Cooper Flagg or Musa Sisse. Daniel Gafford is questionable. Obviously, no Kyrie. Derek Lively is still out. Caleb Martin, who's actually been playing half decent, is questionable. No Ryan Nembhard here either. Man, they're another team that's pretty thin. They actually do have some vets on this bench post deadline, and guys like Middleton, Bagley, Tyus Jones that can cut into the minutes for some of these starters. But Brandon Williams looks excellent here. If this game's going to stay even a little bit close, you have to think he's a big reason for it. Definitely feels underpriced for his upside. I like targeting Marshall whenever Flagg's out. We add the fact that Christie's out. I think he's a little bit underowned here. Again, some risk in the matchup. Definitely a tough spot here on the road against the Timberwolves. But again, I think Marshall has a really good game if this game stays close. Those are the two I'm trusting here. Not much else I love, but I can certainly see it given that they're mostly cheap. Smitty, how do you feel about the Mavericks?
Yeah, I pretty much feel the same. Brandon Williams is who I feel the most confident about. Najee Marshall, if you think this game's going to stay competitive, like if you're playing Anthony Edwards, I think Najee's a pretty good play. Other than that, it's really tough to get to. I think Caleb Martin is okay to take shots on. Kind of same with Bagley. PJ Washington's price has come down a little bit on DraftKings. I don't mind taking some shots.
Yeah. Washington, obviously, back in the day was a beast for this team. He's kind of struggled this year, but this is the cheapest we've ever seen him. So there's definitely some merit to taking some tournament shots there. Over on the Timberwolves side of things, the easiest injury report to talk through. Rocco Zakarski is with the G League. He is not available. Other than that, even with this being a back-to-back, this team's completely healthy. Rudy looks good. Great matchup. Anthony Edwards, All-Star Game MVP, as high as ceiling of anyone on this slate. You can make a case for Randall. Obviously going to continue to see heavy usage here. Other than that, it's tricky. I do like Rudy. I am a little bit worried about blowout here. I definitely think you can mix an Ant. A bit surprised he's as popular as he is, but again, not a ton of pay-up options on this slate. So I like Rudy. I like Ant. Those are the two I really see myself getting to. Other than that, it's tough. Make a case for Naz Reid with the forward eligibility. I don't know that I want to do it on this slate, though. Smitty, how do you feel about the Timberwolves here at home, given this massive, massive spread?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I think Ant, Randall, and Gobert are probably my favorite here. Can't say I like really love any of them, but I think they're all pretty good plays. Other than that, if you think this game does blow out, you could kind of get into some like Bones. I don't think the slate. I'm like the slate's pretty big, but we're playing some kind of sketchy chalk guys. Like if Bones runs into say 20 minutes, he's probably better than a Javon Small. So don't mind like playing a few percent of Bones in case that happens.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, if you're playing for the blowout, I think it makes a lot of sense. One thing I will say is that those bigger Bones games where the games were close were coming before AO was available and with Mike Conley not back with the team. They're both available now. But again, in a blowout, I don't think it matters. Bones probably plays the entire fourth quarter. So very easy path for him to outperform someone like Javon Small. Next game here, we have the Miami Heat taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Very high total, 244.5 points. Miami, Fontecchio's available, Hero available, KJ, Kashad Johnson, dunk contest winner, Pele Larson, Norm Powell, all available. Drew Smith is available here as well, as is Andrew Wiggins. I don't know why Spoelstra lists the whole team as available on the injury report every day. I'm always complaining about this, but this team is about as healthy as they've been in a very long time. Hero coming off the bench, I think he's a little bit overpriced. He does have upside in a matchup like this. But it's just tough to get to anyone. They did downgrade Davion Mitchell, which means we probably see a little bit more run for someone like Jakudius, Kasparis, the point guard, or Drew Smith. KJ has been outperforming Drew Smith for the most part, so I don't mind taking a few shots there as value as another pivot off of Javon Small. But with Hero back, I don't feel as good about it, even if Mitchell's out. Norm Powell tends to lead this team in usage, but with with Hero back, I don't know that that's something we can necessarily rely on. Wouldn't normally have a ton of interest in Bam with everyone getting healthy, but I will say for such a decent to big size slate, center pay up options are kind of scarce. So for that alone, just as a way to get different, don't mind mixing in some Adebayo, especially on FanDuel where you have that forward eligibility. I like this team. I just don't know that there's one player really standing out to me. Smitty, how do you feel about the Heat?
Yeah, I feel pretty similar. I do like the Bam shout. I think that's pretty good. Like you kind of just need the raw points on this slate. So even at his salary, he could get there. So I don't mind Bam. It's hard to get excited about anybody else. I think Norm's okay. Andrew Wiggins probably just correctly priced. Like everyone's just kind of correctly priced. It's tough to really prioritize anybody. With Hero back, like I think you could still play KJ if Mitchell's out, but wouldn't be like a priority play or anything. More like a tournament value play.
Yep. And before the break, Hero was up to. Actually, no, he hasn't played in a month. He played 30 minutes his last game against Boston. We have him for 27 here tonight. I do think he's healthy, but definitely a situation to keep an eye on. Again, wouldn't be playing him, but he could affect some of the other guards here, even if Mitchell ends up out. Over on the Atlanta side of things, is a back-to-back for them, but really nobody out. Jonathan Kuminga, who they traded for, not yet available. Other than that, pretty healthy team. Again, they did trade away Porzingis, so keep that in mind. But Jalen Johnson, once again, the top OF index play on the slate. Absolutely love him here. Guy has been he didn't get it last night, but pretty consistently hitting triple doubles, leading the team in usage, doing everything. Very high total here as well. So I know a lot of people think the Miami defense is great. It's definitely taken a step back this year. These teams both play with a ton of pace as well, which obviously favors their upside in terms of DFS. So Jalen Johnson, to me, worthy of being chalk as a pay up here, especially with all the value we have. Really, really like him. You could mix in Daniels, McCollum, Walker, fine with them here. A Congo, okay. Other than that, not much. But again, Jalen Johnson, really the one play I'm keying in on. Smitty, how do you feel about the Hawks?
Yep, same here. Just one of the better game environments, close spread, hard to poke holes, and someone that has probably one of the highest ceilings on this slate, and probably one of the highest floors too. He just does a little bit of everything. So, really interested in Jalen Johnson. That's pretty much it. I think you could play like CJ, Nah, Okongwu. They're all kind of in play, but uh, I will say Jock at his price. I don't mind taking some shots there at a 0% ownership, but he is center only, so it kind of hurts, but he has been good.
Yeah, I think he's ahead of Gouye on the depth chart for sure. I mean, they went out and got him for some depth there. With Porzingis going away, I don't mind it at all as a shout. But again, Jalen Johnson, best player on the slate. And it's been a while since Atlanta's played a back-to-back, but I did some digging. Last time on a back-to-back, he played 37 minutes first night, 38 the next night, played 37 last night. Would not be concerned at all about him being limited here. Again, great game environment. Jakutis Emmerich laughing at our attempts at pronouncing that. Lawson Lovering, a creative player, definitely feels like it cards. Ben asked about Hendricks. We mentioned you could mix him in. Tough to trust him, though, even with that short rotation. But let's get into the main event. Just kidding. Next game here at 8 o'clock, we got my Nets taking on the Thunder. I believe it's a 17.5-point spread. I thought football season was over. But here we are. No Nick Claxton, no Josh Minott. Zaire Williams is out for personal reasons. Ben Saroff back down with the G League because he can't shoot the basketball at all. Bad spot here for the Nets on paper. They're not really resting anyone. With Claxton out, we could go right back to Day'Ron Sharpe. He was super disappointing last night against Cleveland, albeit in a tough matchup. Only played 19 minutes, though. That kind of tells me that if this game's even a little bit close, he probably plays more here. We have him for 27, which feels a little bit aggressive, but I don't mind mixing him in as a center play. Other than that, there's really not much. I said it last night. I mean, Traore and Damon are both really talented young guards. I think night to night, one of them's going to play well, but every single night you're going to be picking between the two. And I think it's rare that they're both going off. So tricky to get to either of them here, especially with all the guard value we have elsewhere. Michael Porter Jr., if this game stays close, he'll be the reason. Clowney has some upside at his price, but again, it's the worst matchup on paper, one of the worst teams in the league. Even as a fan, just not much interest for me here in these Nets, Smitty. How about you?
Yeah, it's tough to get excited about anybody. For me, it's probably like a Sharp or MPJ and hope they can keep it close, but really just probably going to stay away.
Yeah, when Sharp struggled yesterday, Wolf did run into a few extra minutes. Played late with that game blowing out, played really well. If you want to mix him into the blowout, I don't think it's crazy. But again, guys like Traore and Diamond are going to play similar minutes regardless of how these games go. So tough to get to anything against OKC, even with OKC missing a few key pieces. So for the Thunder, no SGA, no AJ Mitchell. Jalen Williams, the good one, is going to be out here as well. So with those guys out, you'd think Chet would be like the play of all plays. He is the cover of today's video. I think on FanDuel at 7,800. I don't mind mixing him in. At the same time, I don't know. I don't know that he needs to play 30 minutes. I think they could blow the Nets out here relatively easily. Yeah, I mean, as good as Chet is, it's like he's almost better with SGA out there with him kind of creating opportunities for him on the offensive end. Casey Wallace going to get the starting point guard next to Isaiah Joe in all likelihood. You could play both of them. I mean, Joe cheap enough that you could probably call him the priority over Wallace, even though Wallace has been out playing him. But again, just tough to trust these guys here. And they're running a really deep rotation, even with a lot of guys out. So I don't want to be playing guys like McCain or Kenrich Williams or Topich, but just knowing that this bench goes so deep, even with some key players out, it's kind of capping the upside of the value. Smitty, how do you feel about OKC?
Yep, pretty similar. I think they're a pretty tough team to get to. Don't mind mixing in a little bit of Chet, but he's never really my favorite play. Isaiah Joe, I think, is fine. Hartenstein, if we knew his minutes were going to be like back to full, I think he would look okay. I don't know. It's hard to really get excited. I think the big Jalen Williams, like he's going to play minutes regardless, and then he probably gets some blowout run as well. So I don't mind taking a shot there, but kind of just digging really deep on this team. I don't think we really need to.
Yeah, I know. It's like you could kind of think about playing all these guys, but at the same time, none of them really feel great. I will say Isaiah, though, probably the one I could see myself getting to if I get to any, but again, not really a priority at all. Just one more game here, guys, and we will get to chat. Plenty of time to get these dummy builds in on both sites as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the links in the description below, get access to the model you see here, and all that other good stuff. But let's get into this last game. We got the Bucks taking on the Pels in New Orleans. Pelicans favorite here at home. The Bucks will be without Giannis and Miles Turner, which means Jericho Sims could be starting at center here tonight. Kind of an interesting play. When he was on the Knicks with Dibs, never liked playing him. He'd go on for the tip and then just come out of the game. But he's had some decent games here with the Bucks. It's like every other game. I mean, this is kind of a stupid thing to even bring up. But last game, 19 minutes, 14 points. Game before that, crushed, 35 minutes, 34. Sucked the game before that. Game before that, he crushed. It's like every other game he's been playing really well. So if that pattern continues, tonight's the night to be playing Jericho Sims, especially at no ownership. And again, I think that will come up if he does end up starting. But a situation to keep an eye on. Again, no Miles Turner here could create opportunity for him. Bobby Portis, also a candidate to get the start here at center. At his price, I think he's an okay play, not really something I'd be rushing to. Kevin Porter Jr. on DK looks great. Feels overpriced over on FanDuel. Rollins, kind of a neutral play. Same for Kuzma. But again, I really want to keep my eye on the starting center situation here. If it is Sims, I think he's a good tournament play. If Jang suddenly starts, I think he's an interesting tournament play. I definitely think Sims is more likely. Although my boy Cam Thomas off the bench, you could throw him in, mix him in a little bit. Going to have to be really efficient. Probably doesn't play more than 25 minutes, but we've seen him hit close to 40 fantasy points in limited minutes before, so don't mind him as a dart. But again, keep an eye on the lineup here. I think the center, whoever it is going to be interesting. I'm hoping it's Sims at no ownership. Would like to mix him in a bit. Smitty, how do you feel about the Bucks?
Yeah, pretty good game. Really like KPJ overall. I think he looks really good. Probably underpriced on DraftKings. And then Dang, he went crazy. He started last game. It might have been the game before the All-Star break, but I don't mind mixing him in. Even in 20 minutes, I think he could pay off his tags so on DraftKings. So I don't mind him. After that, it's pretty tough. Like you mentioned, if Sims starts, I think he's a pretty decent GPP play. Portis, if he starts, he'll look a lot better. So it kind of just depends on the starting lineup. They've even thrown Pete Nance back into the equation too. So it's kind of a mess. KPJ is the one I feel best about. Everyone else is kind of just a tournament play.
Yep, I'm with you. But again, I think Jang's a good dart. Definitely keep an eye on the starting lineup. Could get some value here, and it's very low on. Again, when there's all this chalky value for teams that are tanking, it makes sense to pivot a little bit. Like you don't want to completely fade those guys, but if you're playing multiple lineups, mixing it up is usually the move. Over on the other side of things here, we do have the Pelicans missing a few key pieces. Trey Murphy is going to be out, one of the team leaders in usage. Micah Peavy, who doesn't seem important, actually does get a decent number of minutes. Eves Missy going to be out here as well, still known as DeJounte Murray. Jeremiah Fears projected to get the start here at point guard. This kid came out great to start the year. It's been kind of a disappointment until those last two games before the break where he absolutely went off. A little bit surprised he's not more popular on either side, especially on DK at sub 5K. If he's a starting point guard again here, over 35 fantasy points in back-to-back games, I do like him a lot. It is a good matchup for guards. And yeah, if he can just have his shot fall, I think they leave him on the floor. So he's someone I'm interested in. Always like Sadiq Bey with either Zion or Murphy out. Tonight is no exception to that, especially on FanDuel where he's a little bit cheaper. Queen is as boomer bust as it gets. This guy can get you triple-double and 50 fantasy points or foul out in the first half. Don't mind him as a dart. And then Zion's fine here, a little bit underpriced in my opinion. Not sure how many minutes he plays first game out of the break. Something to keep an eye on, but definitely worth mixing in as a tournament play. But again, I do like Fears here a lot. A little bit surprised he's not more popular. Can say the same for Bay. Good spot here for the Pels with Murphy out. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, pretty surprised. Kind of think this team's under-owned overall. I thought I would open the slate and see Fears as one of the chalkiest plays on the slate. The fact that he's not just tells me he's a really good tournament play, someone I'm going to be overweight on. So I do like Fears quite a bit. After that, probably Bay for me, especially his price on FanDuel. No Murphy probably takes more of an offensive role, so pretty interested in Bay and Fears. Zion, it's just kind of because you need the raw points. I think I'm okay with it on FanDuel. Not like my first play I'm putting in, but if he makes the lineup work, I think he's okay. Um, Other than that, I think they're all kind of tournament plays. Herb Jones is fine. Never really know how many minutes he's going to play, but don't mind him at his price.
Yeah, we're pretty much aligned. And I will say this about Zion. Like, even with guys out, we just haven't seen the ceiling from him. Big part of that is the minutes. It is a good matchup, but Bay, half his own on both sites and cheaper. I think that's one of the easier leverage points for you on this slate if you're looking to get a little bit different. Let's go ahead and check out the chat before we get into the dummy builds. We talked about Jiang. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up. We got a lot of comments coming in here. McCain, boomer bust, man. If you want to play the blowout, you can mix him in. How many minutes for Hero? We have him at 27. Can we cover the late games? Maybe really quickly if we have a minute or two. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Jang, yeah, definitely a tournament play, but he has tons of upside. Again, no Miles Turner. We like Filipowski. Probably our favorite Jazz play, I think, Smitty. You like Filipowski, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like him.
Yeah, Card saying it was Jang Revenge. Keely saying Jang's his guy. And who knows how much weight Zion put on in a week. Yeah, that's a bit of an issue for him. But hopefully not too much. And yeah, Doug Woods guards for sure. But the minutes for them have been all over the place. That's the one reason to maybe proceed with some caution there. All right, let's start on DK, man. I'm going to start with Jalen Johnson. I think he is the pay up to get to here tonight. Which value plays are you trusting? The one other guy I'll throw in before I throw it over to you is Walker for the Pacers. Yeah. I just think he's the one guy we could really rely on there. But throw some names at me.
Yeah, that's who I was going to say, Jerace. I really like Brandon Williams. I think you did too.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to get a Memphis piece in. We could either go Spencer, we could go Small, or GG. Like any of those three, I think are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, whoever starts at center, I almost want to play Prosper regardless. I think we could throw him at forward, but I'm with you on getting more Memphis either way. Let's throw Prosper at forward. I mean, if I knew Spencer was going to play 28 minutes, it'd be him all day. But the more I think about it, the more I might be on the Smash Act play. Like, the model loves him, and no one's playing him compared to the others, but I don't know. Talk me in or out of him. Like, who do you trust the most? It's probably Spencer for the floor, but he's the most expensive. Like, which of these guards, if you were only picking one, would you want?
I'd be fine with Small or Meshack. They're both pretty productive when they're out there. They're fine in any scenario. So for ownership purposes, I don't mind going with Meshack, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's funny, though. Meshack forward eligible, and we actually already have Walker in forward. So I don't know. For the sake of this video, I guess maybe we go with
we could
Small. I don't know. But again, I do slightly prefer Meshack for the ownership. We still have 7K per player left, man. We got a lot of good options here. I do want to get to some New Orleans. I'm thinking Fears and Bay look good, but I don't know. I'm fine with either.
Yeah, I like both of them. Fears is shooting guard, so that's helpful.
Yeah, and if we do this, like, I hate to use a center spot up for Prosper, but we can throw him in there. I have New Orleans selected.
There's actually a lot of good plays because I like Kyle Anderson. There's a lot of pretty good guys.
Right. There's so many good value plays tonight. Like, I think you almost have to go stars and scripts. Let me ask you this: who's your favorite pay up point guard or shooting guard? I don't love any of them, but it's probably Porter on DK, right?
Yeah, KPJ.
Yeah, that price is just wrong. And then we're left with 8,200 utility. I mean, we could go to Collier. I don't think it's crazy. Rollins, probably don't want to play him with Porter. I don't know. We're probably going to have to move some stuff around. We're getting there. You guys kind of see where we're at. This is a really good starting point. You're pretty much affording whatever you want. Again, I think it's so easy to prioritize Johnson here. Might as well just do it. If I could get the Bam in this spot, it would be nice, but I think he's a little bit more expensive. Yeah, we'd have to downgrade. I don't know. It would take a little bit of finagling. So for now, we'll leave that one out. Yeah, Collier would be fine, CA. I see shouting him out. Let's take a look at FanDuel real quick. Were there any guys over here that are way better priced than they are on DK?
Uh,
I'll throw Walker in to start.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Zion's a little cheaper there. Still like Jalen Johnson.
I'm going to throw Bay in.
Yeah, Bay. I think Bay's someone. Yeah, definitely like that.
We didn't play much of this Indy Washington game on DK other than Walker. Is there anyone? I mean, it's tough, man, just with the minutes for these guys right now.
Yeah, it's probably Kobe Brown for me. 3,900 seems
Okay.
pretty good.
He's small forward only. We'd have to move Walker. That's no big deal. And then again, we're gonna probably be able to afford pretty much anything we want.
Yeah,
Let's
you
see
even have
here.
Omax here is 4K. Like, I don't know. There's a lot
Is
of
he a
good.
forward or power
Yeah, he's
forward?
power forward.
I mean, I really like that. Again, we'd have to move Walker. Does Bay have a shooting guard? Nope. There's too many good forwards tonight, which is kind of interesting. Filipowski, I'll throw in. I really like him. Um, I don't know. I don't mind Porter. The price is kind of crazy. Brandon Miller, maybe? Or
Yeah,
Canupa's cheaper.
yeah, I don't mind Miller. Uh, Brandon Williams still.
Oh, yeah. Let's get Williams.
Sensabaugh is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, so again, there's so many good value plays on the slate. Obviously, they're not all going to succeed, but you can kind of fit whatever you want, which makes Johnson just tough to get away from, in my opinion.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, point guard, 7,700. We probably have to move some stuff around, right? I don't know. Yeah, we'd have to get creative. Like, if we go with Fears, we'd have to upgrade. I mean, I don't mind the Kobe Brown call, but we could play a 6-1 forward there if we want.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gross, but like GG, I don't know, something like that. But we're getting there. Max amount of Memphis, I don't know. I'd say 3 feels okay. I probably would want to go more than that. They only have 9 guys though, so I don't know. It's just Spencer's minutes, even when they have nobody, they cap for whatever reason. But how many Memphis guys are you comfortable with?
Yeah, I would say 3 feels pretty good. There's a lot of good value, so I don't want to be super concentrated.
Yep. And taking a really quick look here at the late games, Lakers are healthy. I think Luka looks fine. Obviously, Kawhi kind of running the show there now. Mathurin coming off a huge game off the bench. Mathurin and Kawhi look good to me. Would rather play Luka than Reeves or LeBron for the Lakers. And then the Nuggets game. I mean, Jokic is Jokic. You just play him. I don't know. Smitty, any thoughts on the late slate before we get out of here?
I haven't really looked at it yet, to be honest. Mathurin, I think's good though. I think he's going to be like the number 2 on the Clippers, basically.
Oh yeah. I've always liked him on offense. It's just Carlisle hated him,
Yeah.
but is what it is. And yeah, Denny's back for Portland tonight, so keep that in mind. If he's not going to be capped, definitely has a high ceiling. He's going to cut into the upside of everyone else. Drew's been playing really well, but again, we focus on the main slate here. Try to keep everyone happy. And yeah, Collier will score between 36 and 38, guaranteed, not worth the price. Yeah, before they went and got Vince Williams, he was playing 48 minutes a game. Now that they actually have a backup point guard, kind of hurts his upside. Murray might be out. Yeah, if Murray's out, I mean, Strother's going to see a huge boost. Obviously, Jokic's ceiling goes up. So keep an eye on that situation there. But yeah, I think that's it for today, Smitty, unless you have anything else. I believe we have Jayhawk in the Discord right now, taking you right up until lock. Again, like, subscribe on your way out of here. We're back. Second day back from the break. Smitty already taking down thousands, hitting the ground running. Let's keep it going tonight, man.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Take care, guys.